Okay, so carrying on with my short, my maintenance series as such of your RC truck maintenance. Now last time I covered about driving through water and mud and everything, and what you should and shouldn't do, and it applies for nitro, electric and petrol. It's all the same stuff. And this time, just a quick one this time, to be honest, it's just about checking all your nuts and bolts and grub screws and Allen screws and all this kind of stuff. Just check them before and after, depending. I tend to check mine. I tend to go for a drive, and then I'll have a little maintenance period, either the same day later on or after or whatever. Usually in between the next one I'll have a little maintenance period where I'll just check everything. Yeah, what you need to do is you need to check all your screws, check your engine mount screws. You got all these little Allen screws here. You need to check to make sure that they're all tight enough and not coming loose, because if they start to come loose, things are going to come off. Like if the ones that hold your engine on, if they come loose, your engine's going to come loose, and if that comes loose, you're going to get all your sprockets and gears coming loose, and then you lose drive, and it could shred a few of them. I've shredded many of them on the Savage before, on Nitro, on the Savage 21 on my Nitro cars. But shredded plenty of those because the engine screws had come loose because I hadn't checked them. The engine moved away, and there you go. And also this here is a result of me not checking the screw. There's a bolt like this one what goes in on the other side in here, and this is just like a support what keeps this frame together, stops it from coming apart. Well, as you can see, I've had to use a cable tie because I didn't check that before I used it for the second time ever, and it come loose and I lost the bolt. And I just, there you go, I haven't looked to put another one in it, but I lost the bolt. You just want to check your wheel nuts as well to make sure your wheel nuts are tight, because if your wheel comes off and you lose the wheel nut, you might not have a spare, and if you haven't got a spare, that's your day of RCing over, because you can't go with only 3 wheels, can you? So you want to check to make sure your wheel nuts are tight before you use your car. Check to make sure that your air filter is snug on there, make sure it's all done up tightly, and make sure your filter sponge is clean. And just make sure, I keep saying it, but make sure all the screws are tight, because it only takes one screw to come out, and that can ruin your whole day of RCing. Because like I said, a wheel nut, you might lose a wheel nut, and then you're stuffed. If you haven't got a spare, you have to go and get another one, so that's your day ruined, unless you've got a spare, of course. If one of these comes off, one of these little nuts comes off here, and your shock comes out, what are you going to do? You have to find another nut, because you could slide it back on there and cable tie it round or something, which might do for a while, but it's always best to just check all your nuts and bolts, basically. It's pretty simple and common sense, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people just start it up, go, chuck it in the shed or wherever they're going to chuck it, in the garage, and then they come to it another day, start it up and go again. They don't check nothing. So just a quick video this time for checking your nuts and bolts, because it's very important. And like I said, if you don't and you lose one or two, that's your day ruined, unless there's a shop nearby where you can go and get one, or you got a spare. So sweet, I think we'll have a look at air filter cleaning on the next video, and I'll tell you all how to clean the air filter. That's what I'll do. Lovely job.